Okay, here's the question. Can I make this sound like this? Hey everyone, welcome to the Guitars, Gear, and Music channel. So a few weeks ago, I purchased a used Marshall MG50GFX combo amp for some light jamming with friends. It has an effects loop and built-in effects, and it's everything I need to bring to friends' houses for jamming. And of course, it's a Marshall. So I have become so impressed with this 50-watt solid-state amp that I decided to upgrade the stock speaker to a WGS Veteran 30 speaker, and then in addition to that, I've been putting it through my 212 cabinet, also loaded with two Veteran 30 speakers. And I have to tell you, the tones I'm getting out of this thing are unbelievable, and I think these amps are completely underrated. But I became curious, how close can I get this thing to sound like my Marshall DSL20 head? Obviously, the MG is a solid-state amp, and the DSL is an all-tube amp. So I have the MG combo amp plugged into the same 212 cabinet as the DSL. Okay, and this is the Seismic Audio 212 cabinet, and it's loaded with two WGS Veteran 30 speakers. I have one side mic'd with a Shure SM57, and I have the other side mic'd with a Seismic Audio SA-M20 mic, which is basically a clone of the SM57. And the signal chain is tuner, going into the wah, which I will not be using, going into my Boss Super Overdrive, which I will be using on the Crunch and OD1 channels. In the effects loop, I have my Boss Noise Suppressor, which I'm using 4-cable method, and my Boss DD8 digital delay. And I'm recording this project directly into Pro Tools. Okay, so here are my conclusions. The crunch channel on the MG, with or without the overdrive, doesn't really get into the territory of the ultra channel on the DSL. It sounds great, but it doesn't sound like the DSL. What it's missing is the bottom end tightness of the DSL, and there's a certain presence that it's missing, and quite literally the DSL has a presence knob, whereas the MGs do not. However, you can compensate a little bit by turning up the treble on the MG. Now, it's a little bit of a toss-up between the OD1 channel and the OD2 channel on the MG, but to my surprise, I found that with a little bit of EQing, the OD2 channel on the MG sounds the closest to the DSL. And that's without the overdrive engaged. And I'll be honest, what I recorded I don't think quite captures what I was hearing in the room. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Please leave a comment in the comment section. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.